Good morning, members. Welcome to this breakfast meeting on the subject Chat Gpt for CAs. And to dwell upon this subject, we have CA Mohan R Lavi sir. Can I request CA Govind Bhatt sir, past MC member of Bangalore branch, to escort Mohan Lavi sir to dais and then welcome you with the floral bouquet. Thank you, sir. Happy to know that the number of registrations has increased a lot. Is it because of the subject Chat GPT for CAs or Mohan Lavi sir? I would say a combination of both.
It can also be because of breakfast.
Yeah, I'll put together. I have privilege in introducing CA Mohan R Lavi sir. Mohan R Lavi qualified as a chartered accountant in the year 1989. He has over 25 years of experience in industry across a variety of industries. He has worked in senior positions in finance, in manufacturing and software companies. Mohan also has over 6 years of experience in practice. At present, he is a partner with Messrs. KP Rao and Co-Chartered Accountants, Bangalore, and heads the Ind AS and GST practices of the firm. Mohan is the author of books on IFRS and Ind AS, key audit matters and other related topics. Mohan has spoken at various conferences in India and abroad on accounting standards, IFRS, Sarbanes-Oxley Act and GST. He is a faculty member with Institute for their IFRS certification course and registered Bangalore programs. With this brief introduction, I present before you CA Mohan R Lavi sir.
Okay, so good morning. And first of all, let me thank Bangalore branch for asking me to talk on this topic, which not everybody knows much about. But it is certainly an interesting topic. As Manjunath was saying, he told me that initially there will be about 50 registrations, and morning he told me it's around 70, and now he's saying 100. So I really don't know what the number is going to be. Maybe we should ask Chat GPT this question. How many people register for this program? The idea behind this is to sort of not get into the technical aspects of Chat GPT and what it, what is behind Chat GPT and all. But I think this is a larger context here. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we've been hearing that machine learning, artificial intelligence will take over some routine jobs. And one of those jobs was mentioned as the jobs of accountants. We have been hearing this over the last 4 or 5 years, though nothing much has really happened. And in November 22, suddenly ChatGPT came up and sort of, reignited the debate and said that, oh, you know what? ChatGPT can do the work of anybody, leave alone chartered accountants. This sort of sensation came about thanks to ChatGPT. And ChatGPT has a lot going for it. 100 million downloads or 100 million users in about 2 months. It's been unheard of. 100 million users started using ChatGPT from November 22 in about 2 months' time. To put it in perspective, TikTok took about 7 months to reach 100 million users and Instagram took about 2.5 years. So there was obviously something in this which people saw, which they wanted to, I use the word called explore, and see if this can really be the sensation it is. I can also add and say that Elon Musk was behind ChatGPT, and whenever Elon Musk invests in something, it should either be innovative or it should be controversial. I'm assuming that he invested in ChatGPT because it was innovative and not because it was controversial, or it will get controversial. We do not know about that. Chairman, bari kuthodi, front row kuthodi sir. Vice Chairman. There has been a sort of a background to this also. It's not that it just burst upon the scene and came to us all of a sudden. We've had chatbots which were giving us answers, though not many of the answers were useful. We had chatbots which you ask a question and it will give you an answer. Predictive text was also there for quite some time. Even Gmail had it after some time. So if I want to send a mail to Manjunath, and I say to Manjunath, he'll say, dear Manjunath. So there has been some sort of trials happening on Chat GPT also for this predictive text. And the responses are predicted, are also, sort of predicted. What Chat GPT has done, in my opinion, it has expanded this predictive text and predictive response on a much, much larger scale. On an extremely large scale, not only about emails, it's not about, just giving a response, ask a question, giving a response. It's also done coding, it can write poems, they are saying. It does a whole lot of stuff. So what it has done, it has apparently expanded this scope to areas which were probably not thought of earlier, number one. And second, also probably the utility or the applications which can be done using this predictive text as a model, it has expanded to beyond a particular, so that is what has happened as far as Chat GPT is concerned, in my opinion. As we are speaking today, we have got 3.5 and version 4, two versions of Chat GPT. 3.5 is a free version, 4 is a paid version. It has got plugins also, 4 has got plugins also. There is a lot that can be done with ChatGPT. I want to put this in context right now itself. There's a lot we can do with ChatGPT. At the same time, there is a lot we need not do. So it's a sort of a fine balance what we choose to do as professionals, using this or not using this. I would also go on to add that what you are seeing in ChatGPT can always be found elsewhere. It is not that it's sort of aggregating various types of things and putting them together in one particular place. That's what it is actually sort of doing here. So the expansion of ChatGPT is generative pre-trained transformer. The GPT expands as generative pre-trained transformer. If you just sort of, dive deep into this definition, it transforms something and generates a particular text, a particular output, a particular picture, a particular diagram. That is what it is trying to do. It is obviously based on algorithms. So what they have done here is that there are specialized algorithms to find patterns within data sequences, and all this is technical stuff. I'm not going to get into this because if you ask me what is neural network, I will not know what is neural network. But it is apparently trying to expand what we have already discussed earlier also. But I think what is more important than what I just told you is that the number of parameters which ChatGPT has been trained on is humongous. The first version had 117 million and the last version is having 100 trillion. You can just imagine the amount of data which is being fed into this model for the purpose of, getting the necessary outputs. I wanted to do a little bit something different here, so I went to this website called as Upwork and tried to ask somebody if you can do something very small for me in ChatGPT. And immediately a person from Nepal responded and said, yes, we can do this. I have got used to this. I have done a lot of work on machine learning. I can do this. It was something which, a very simple thing I just wanted to find out. Say for example, I'll give an example. If you can give me a number of chartered accountants in Batinda who do GST practice. He said, if you give me the inputs, I will give you the outputs also. Not only in Batinda, I will give you 100 cities in India. There is a database called as vector pine code, wherein all this is being fed. These 100 trillion parameters have gone into this vector or this pine code vector database. From there, it is being pulled and giving the results. So if I ask you a question, give me a chartered accountant in Batinda, it is not going to the internet. It is going to this database and pulling it from there. So what is important is what goes into that database. So that is why Chat GPT has become such a, sort of a big hit, so to speak. But today what I am going to talk about is specific to chartered accountants. I have asked Chat GPT some very pertinent questions relating to chartered accountants, and it has given us some pertinent answers also related to chartered accountants. The first question I asked it was, predictably, will you replace chartered accountants? I said, hey, will you replace chartered accountants in practice in Bangalore? Please answer in 4 sentences. I do not know what database went into this, but it says that, no, I will not replace chartered accountants in Bangalore or anywhere else. That's a saving grace now. So it's not only about Bangalore, it's about anywhere else, right? They provide complex services that involve human judgment, ethics and personalized advice. Please look at the response and see how he's trying to justify the fact that I'm only a tool. I'm not going to replace human interface at all. It's just not going to be possible. That's what they're trying to say. He also goes on to say that I can assist in information, calculations, decision making and interpersonal aspects. The international personal aspects are irreplaceable. Integration of technology like me can, however, enhance the efficiency and accuracy of some tasks they perform. If at all you want to ask clients for increase in fees, please use that last sentence. They will not understand what it is. They will simply accept for the increase in fees. The interchange of technology and all those things, they are going to obviously going to accept. But I think we need to pause here and say that how does this response actually come out? It is not a question of directly saying, yes, I'll replace all the chartered accountants. In fact, today, just to deviate a little bit from this path of chartered accountants, the people who are most threatened by Chat GPT are the software coders. People in software companies who are doing coding, we need not require a software code. Everything is available in open source here. I can just ask it for an algorithm, it just gives it to me. What will those software coders do? Because they don't require human interface. They don't require to go to the GST office. They don't require to sign valuation reports. They just have to code. That's their job. They're being paid a salary for being coders, but today that is being replaced by technology. So they are the most threatened in this particular Chat GPT atmosphere. Sorry, the software coders will be the most threatened profession, not chartered accountants. So it has given a sort of an appropriate response. So what has actually gone ahead to give this response is the fact that they have spoken about skill sets of what accountants can do and what technology can do. They have spoken about those two different skill sets. And obviously what is happening is there is going to be a convergence between these two. That is why they are saying that please use the technology for the purpose of getting your necessary skill sets upgraded. I did not leave it at that. I asked Chat GPT, can you elaborate on this with specific examples? It did not say, no, I'm sorry, I cannot tell you. It responded and said that certainly, it has gone on to give some response. Actually, my initial thought process was that I'll do this live, ask a question so you can see live what the answer is. But then I thought we'll probably have to go to lunch also. Because, sometimes these questions can be extremely endless. But here is an important aspect which I think all of you should probably look at. Don't stop with one question. ChatGPT does not like it if you stop with one question. You should always have, it's like a conversation. Why is it called ChatGPT? Because you have to chat. Chat means don't ask one question and say, okay, thank you very much, I have to go. Keep asking questions to get more answers. So I've asked them here, can you elaborate on this with specific examples? It has spoken about, okay, the role of chartered accountant and all those things. But there was one response which I really liked a lot. It says that interpersonal relationships and trust. It says that a significant aspect of a CA's work is building trust with clients. Clients often share confidential information with the CA and they rely on the CA's discretion, integrity and genuine interest in their well-being. Tools like me can't replicate the trust and rapport that humans build over the years of personal interaction. This is something which probably we did not expect. I told her, please keep this template for clients to increase the fees. Tell them, see, Chat GPT is telling me this, what are you saying? Why are you not saying this? But again, please pause for a moment and say that this response is not from a computer. This response is not from a machine. This response is somebody who has fed this into the better Pinecode database. Somebody has fed this and said that if you get a question like this, this should be your response. Because according to me, audit assurance, tax services, all that is fine, GST, all that is fine. We all know that. We all know those aspects. We cannot be replaced in that. Chat GPT cannot. Imagine going to a GST officer and giving a Chat GPT, case law. It's not going to work. He's going to look at you only, right? But this aspect was something which I really appreciate, which means that somebody has really taken the effort to give a proper response to an appropriate question. They could have simply stopped and said that no, chartered accountants can never be replaced by ChatGPT. But when I asked the leading question, it came out with this response, which I thought was extremely appropriate and relevant also. It's not that it's not relevant also. So they're also saying that it can enhance our capabilities. Now here again, I think this is something which we keep going back to technology and chartered accountants. This is something which Bangalore branch has done a lot of programs also on. Technology is inescapable. It does not matter what manner the technology comes in. We should look upon Chat GPT as probably a sort of technology only. How we want to use it depends upon what we want from that particular technology. It can do a lot of things. As I will show you a little bit going into this thing, I will show you. Okay. Finally, I asked one last question. I said, okay, I get that. Can chartered accountants work without using Chat GPT? Again, if you had Western interested, I said, no, please, I have to be there. It didn't say that. It said that, yes, they've been doing it for so many years. They've been working for so many years without ChatGPT. Why can't they work without ChatGPT? So you can see here that even before the advent of all these digital tools and AI and all those things, this has happened. So from this first set of three questions and answers, what is the impression or the takeaway we get is that somebody has really taken care to put in responses which are appropriate for the questions which are being framed in ChatGPT. There are some questions for which it will not give an answer. And I've tried that also, which I'll show you all sometime. It may not be able to give an answer because it says, I do not know. I've been trained only up to September 2021, it says. I've not been trained beyond that. Anything prior to that, I'll give you an answer. But anything after that, it says, I have not been trained. It's honest enough to tell that as an answer. But what we need to see, these are all general questions, right? I'm just trying to put in here these general framework questions just to see the genuinity of the response of ChatGPT. If you go and ask anybody today that will technology replace, let us say for example, chartered accountants, it's only going to be an enabler, it cannot replace anything. They are trying to use the same words in a different context, in a different setting, and trying to give this particular response and saying that this is what it is. Where can we use it? Calculations, representations, better presentations. I've been hearing a lot about ChatGPT, so what I thought was, in one area which is very close to me, which is India's, I thought, let me go and check if ChatGPT can actually help us with our India's. I'm not getting into too much of a technical stuff here, but I only wanted to push across the message as to where can we actually use ChatGPT as an enabler in our profession. Now, representations, better presentations, all these things are always there. So I'll come to that. How can we get maximum benefit? I told you already about this. Please keep on chatting. Especially free version, don't worry about it. Paid version, you may have to think about it twice. Because you're paying for chatting with a machine. Let the chat be sequential. Sequential means follow up with 3 or 4 follow-on questions. You can see that the best responses from ChatGPT are received only on the follow-on questions and not on the first question. The follow-on questions give you a lot of Actually, if you look at it in context, it is waiting for you to ask the next question. It is not waiting for you to drop off. It is waiting for you to ask the next question because it is ready with the answer. It will be extremely disappointed if you don't ask the next question. Which can be, in the context of what we are talking here, it can be, for example, changing the discounting rate, whatever it may be. I'll show you a few examples of that also, as to how this is going to be, how we can actually apply it in a lot of cases. But I should also tell you what Chat GPT cannot do before I go on to the useful. It cannot sign an audit report or a certificate. Please don't try that. You can ask a question, but it will say, it will give the response, no, we can't do that, sorry.
But it can prepare an audit report.
It can prepare an audit report, it can prepare a key audit matter, it can prepare an emphasis of matter, it can do all of that stuff. But please don't ask it and say that, I'm very scared to sign this audit report, can you sign it on my behalf? It is certainly not going to do that. It cannot generate or revoke UDINs. Now you are seeing how chartered accounts are becoming more and more useful. You cannot ask it to revoke a UDIN. There is an interface, there is a plugin in Chat GPT wherein it is linked to the Bing search engine of Microsoft. It can take you to the UDIN portal. You can plug in that plugin into your Chat GPT version 4. And you can say, take me to the UDIN portal. It will take you properly to the UDIN portal, no problem at all. There you say, you tell it, this is my username, this is my password. Can you log in? It will not do that, unfortunately. That it will not. That we have to do it ourselves. So that is something which, again, it will not be possible there. Valuation report is cannot sign. It cannot attend a faceless assessment in income tax. You cannot tell the assessing officer, sir, Chat GPT ask the question, it will respond. It is not going to do that. The assessment officer, the assessing officer may be interested in Chat GPT for the response, but it will not be able to attend the faceless assessment or hearing, as we call it, and sort of, give an approach. There are a lot of things. As that first question initially answered itself, we are trying to further go on and prove the point that this is not something which is going to replace us, it is only going to be an enabler. It's only going to be an enabler. So, and finally, of course, I put one final thing here, which is it cannot do a GST settlement. Settlement is in brackets, inverted commas, whatever you may call it. You can understand this in any manner you want. I am not going to elaborate on what that settlement is. Because I am quite sure that all of you all are doing a lot of GST practice, because that is the area to focus in right now. I tried asking Chat GPT a few recent questions on GST. It said no, GST no, only September 2021. After that, don't ask it, because the law is changing every day now. I asked him a question, Rule 8080, it said I don't know what Rule 8080 is. So there is a certain element of updation which is not happening in the global model of Chat GPT. It may happen at some point of time in the future, but I will conclude later on by saying that we are going to see local versions of Chat GPT also coming out. It is not going to be one Chat GPT open.ai which is going to work. We are going to see plenty of local versions coming up, and which will be niche areas of presentation of use for Chat GPT itself. So if it cannot do all these things, I have asked it a question. There are two versions here. I told you about 3.5 and 4. 3.5 is a free version. Responses are instant. 4 is a paid version. Responses are delayed. Don't ask me why. It should actually be the opposite. But that's how it seems to be working. 3.5, you ask it a question, the response is instantaneous. 4, because it has got plugins, because it has got some code interpreters, it has got some software also behind it. You can add on, say for example, you can make diagrams, you can generate PDF text, you can summarize PDF text using these various plugins there. A lot can be done, provided you go for the paid version and you download the necessary plugin and try to use it. It is definitely fun to work with. $20 a month is what they charge you for this. whether you want to pay this $20 per month for the purpose of trying to get some benefit out of Chat GPT, or whether you want to, use a free version first and then upgrade to a paid version once you see specific uses for this. That's something which all of you should individually decide here. But I'm not going to tell you what is to be done. I've generally found that paid versions of anything work better. Of anything, I'm not only talking about Chat GPT. Of anything paid versions, it gives you a little bit more value addition. It is not that, this is going to completely solve your problems, but any sort of value addition or any sort of, over and above what you are doing, you want to do with Chat GPT, it is a process of trying and looking at what you want. That also I will tell you. For example, yesterday, just to give you an example, yesterday, I was trying to ask ChatGPT whether they can do a DCF method of valuation. So I gave inputs. I said, what is your free cash flow? I told him what is the free cash flow, cost of capital, discounting rate, working capital adjustment, everything I gave it. I said, can you calculate the DCF value per share? I gave 100,000 number of open shares also. Very interestingly, what ChatGPT did was, it gave the calculation. The DCF value came negative. Obviously the inputs are wrong. The DCF value came negative. It gave a comment saying that it seems there's something wrong with the assumption because DCF can never be negative. Do you want to revise your assumptions? Maybe your discounting rate, maybe your free cash flows are changing. So again I'm repeating the point that it is not just garbage in, garbage out. That old concept of garbage has gone away now. It is actually thinking and giving you a response. It is actually thinking and giving you a response and saying that, you know what, how can your DCF be negative? You please look at this again and see maybe there is something wrong with your data. So what I did, I again changed the calculation. Now I do not know what caused the valuation to be negative, I did not know. I changed the discounting rate, I changed the free cash flows, I changed the revenue number. At the third attempt, it still came negative. I was getting frustrated. I said, what is this? Something wrong I'm doing. I cannot be so bad in valuation after all. So I asked it a very direct question. Can you make it positive? I asked. Can you make this DCF valuation positive? Guess what? It did it. It changed a few calculations and made it a positive valuation. It says if I do this, you get a positive valuation. That is the power we are talking about here. Whether we are going to use it or not is completely left to us. But I was actually, that's why I said sequentially keep asking me this question. I was very hesitant to ask it the last question. I thought it would respond saying that you are a CA in Bangalore, you are teaching valuation, how can you ask me to do this? It did not. It said you change these parameters, it becomes a positive valuation. So there is a lot of thought which has gone into this. You all can choose, as I said, whether it is a free model or the subscription, or you all can do it in a very gradual manner. First, you have to get used to this. We are all chartered accountants, we are into the tax audit season now. People are saying that Chat GPT can write poems also. I don't think any of us have the time to ask Chat GPT, please write a poem. I don't think we have the time. Maximum what we'll say, please write a poem about income tax department, we'll say. It may come out with an answer. It has got all those inbuilt content to generate an answer even for the purpose of poems here. But I think if you look at it in context, they are trying to say that if you want to use it for a very general purpose, go for the free version. You want to have fun with it, you want to see, ask it a few questions, give it a few responses. How much can you see Instagram, how much can you see Facebook, how much can you see TikTok? Keep this also as a matter of entertainment. Right? And keep asking it questions, keep getting responses, let us see what happens. But once you see that there are specific areas wherein you can feel that there is a possibility of actually adding value to what you are doing in your work. It could be valuation, for example. It could be also, sort of representation for appeals, as we will see in a little bit of time. It gives us very appropriate responses for appeals. The raw material is mine, the finished product is coming from Chat GPT. And I am particularly talking about this from the point of view of GST because, as all of you will probably know, the tribunals are going to be packed with appeals once GST opens up the tribunals. There is such a lot of pending litigation which is waiting to happen there. Nobody knows about it right now, but once the tribunals are set up, there are going to be a lot of appeals that are going to come because at the assessing officer level, we are somehow not able to close it out. There are many assessments that are happening. I mean, all those technical points all of you know about. GSTR 1 versus 3, B3, B versus 2, all these bus numbers which are coming in the forms. We do not know what is going to happen there. But end of the day, I don't have a proper forum for appeal. If you give the case law to Chat GPT and tell them that please give me background, grounds of appeal and prayer, it does it in a flash. Give them the case law and say that this is what I want, this is my case law, please file GST APL 5, please draft it for me, it will give it to you in a flash. This is the free version, not even the paid version. You need not go for the paid version at all. But if you ask it a question, can you give me case laws on, unfortunately it will not be able to do it. It will not be able to give you relevant case laws. So again, the data which you are going to give is going to be extremely critical for it to generate. That's why it is called as generative. It generates a response based on the data you are going to put. It's all depending upon the amount or the quantity and quality of data you are going to give. That is what is going to be very, very important. It says that GPT 3.5, it is our fastest model, great for most everyday tasks, and GPT 4, it talks about the most capable model, great for tasks that require creativity and advanced reasoning. And it says that it has got a default model, it's got a code interpreter, it's got plugins, it's got plenty of plugins. And I need not tell you all about the plugins, but I told you PDF, for example, a link to the Bing, the search engine of Bing. Expedia Travel is what a link to the Expedia website also, where suppose you want to choose a travel to any, say, Cambodia, it gives you options there, it gives you a lot of options there. So it does a lot of stuff looking at the internet also. So it's not that it is only data driven, the plugins will use you to interact with other parts of the internet. The other parts of the internet will also be used by using these particular plugins there. You can choose whatever plugins you want. So these are the basic things behind this thing here. So I will just keep showing you all these things here. Search the internet with Bing, they've got something called a shop, open table. Open table is something like a Zomato. It gives you restaurant listings, it gives you restaurant, ratings and all those stuff. But again, all these things are something which we already know about, so you can do this later on. So as I said, this is an area where it's close to me in days, so I thought, let me fight my battle with Chat GPT and see who wins. Because Ind AS, as all of you all will probably be aware by this time, involves some calculations, lot of assumptions, lot of judgments. Till today, what we know about Ind AS is what we tell you we know about Ind AS. What is there in the standard, what is there in the book, what other people tell you. There really has not been an external source to validate what has been said. I am not trying to say that what we are saying is wrong, but there have been a lot of situations wherein there have been some interpretational issues in Ind AS, for example. What happens to the security deposit? Should I adjust to the right of use asset? Should I show it separately? Lot of such controversies have happened. I won't say controversies, but lot of discussions have happened on this. So I tried to ask Chat GPT that, let me see if it does calculations properly. So what I did was, the first thing I did was present value, which is a very common formula in Ind AS. This is the Excel formula we will get. Is equal to present value, percentage, rate of interest, the term and the amount. I put this on Excel, I got a value of 620,921.41. This is easy for us. Security deposit value to present value, this is the formula I use. So now I was thinking twice, if I have to go and ask ChatGPT, what should I ask it? I had two options. One is I could have gone to my Excel sheet, attached my Excel sheet, and told, can you check this calculation if it's accurate or not. That was one option I had. But I was not very comfortable choosing that option. I said, okay, let me do one thing. I will ask ChatGPT this question, which is that this is my rate of interest, this is my term, this is my value. Can you give me present value? That's how you tested it, right? That's how you test it. You don't give a formula and say it is correct or not. Then it will become like, maybe correct, maybe wrong sort of a situation. So I asked this question. You can see that it gave a different formula. It did it on a year-on-year basis, but brought out almost the same value. Only 40 paisa difference between what ChatGPT has done and what I have done. But what is very, very important for you all to understand is that it has given us the formula also. Anybody who is wanting to learn Indias, formulas of Indias, it also explains what all this is, isn't it? It doesn't just talk about, it explains what these things are also, isn't it? It's a very, very long answer. But you can see what has happened here is that it has done the calculation de novo. It has not looked at my calculation at all. It has given exactly the same value as I have given, which makes me feel that I have passed the Indias exam. Whether ChatGPT has done it or not, I do not know. But at least I know that my calculation is correct here. So today we have a valid source to fall back upon and say that this is what it is. But again, I will repeat and tell you all that please don't give it a formula. Ask it a question. The reason it is called as ChatGPT is because it wants you to ask questions. It doesn't want you to give you a formula and try to tell you that the formula is correct or not. It may probably answer that also. I do not say no. But if you want a further validation of what you are going to do or whether what you have done is exactly appropriate or not, I think it is best to ask it a particular question, ask it for a response. So here, you all can probably think about this also as an option. Because I knew the question to be asked, I framed it in an appropriate manner. Because I knew exactly what is required. I knew what the parameters required. I knew that 10% is required, I knew the term is required, and I knew that this amount which is required, the basic value is required. It will give me a present value calculation. But I did not stop at that. Having got 620,920.41, I asked ChatGPT a lead on further question which is not there in the presentation, but I asked, what will happen if my interest rate becomes 8%? I just asked it a question, what will happen if the interest rate becomes 8%? It did not do the calculation again. Very surprising. It said, taking from the previous formula it said. So it seems that it knows that you are having a conversation with it. It picked up the previous formula, replaced 10 with 8% and gave me a value. So you can see what is happening is that it is, as I told you all, it is expecting you all to ask questions. It is asking the more, keep on troubling it. That seems to be the, it will not get tired. Article clerks may get tired. Clients may get tired. But this is meant for that purpose only. This is meant for that purpose. Keep on asking, but don't ask it irrelevant questions. It has to be pertinent to the subject matter, but what you can see is that if I give it some basic parameters, I can get exactly what I want. It can validate what I am doing, whether I am correct or not, number one. Second, and probably more important, in case I have done some error, it will be able to point out the error also. As an add-on to this particular this thing here, as I told you all, see for example in employee loans, I think it was for revenue standard, I think. There was some problem with what ChatGPT was doing. The interest-free employee loans, it seemed to be taking a very different. I was a little bit surprised because I thought that this is the way it is always been done. Shows that the interest cost shows an employee benefit. But it seemed to give a different perspective. So I just asked you the question, are you sure about this? I didn't tell we are doing it differently, right? I said, are you sure about this? Then it says here, gave some sort of a general example. I said, this is what we are trying to do. I rephrased the question. It said both the results are the same. I'm doing it in a different manner, you're doing it in a different manner. The result is the same. Employee benefit expense is the same here. So there is a great amount of data, calculational information which we can definitely use Chat GPT for. Again, this is a free version, so don't have to go for the paid version. Because then, paid version means you have to ask me a question, can I claim income tax benefit on it? Will it be allowed for income tax? I do not know. Probably it will be, I'm not very sure, but don't show it as Chat GPT expenditure. You can probably show it as miscellaneous expenditure or whatever it is, because income tax officers may not relate to Chat GPT expenditure as 37 bracket point. Yes? Yeah.
In the Chat GPT, you need to give the question like, what is the present value of 10 lakhs received after 5 years?
Yes.
So then it will give this.
Exactly. You don't have to say what is, you can say calculate the present value of 10 lakhs at 10% interest for 5 years. Calculate, but what is important there is present value. Two things are important, calculate and present value. And you can see that, I'll show you a few more examples also. Irrespective of what you are asking, it gives you the formula. See, I do not know about, many of you have probably seen Ind AS, but one of the problems we have the Ind AS standards in India. I won't say problem, but it's definitely a shortcoming which many people have felt, is that these standards do not have illustrative examples. Because ICA is supposed to pay a royalty to the IASD every time you use an example, which is, we are not going to pay, definitely. There's no doubt about it. Why should we pay a royalty for using their own standards? So we will find that the number of examples given in your Ind AS standards are extremely less as compared to what IFRS got. IFRS has got a separate book on only the examples. So for professionals and also for the students who are reading these standards, they are coming with a slight disadvantage, because if I read a particular section and say significant financing component, where is the example? There is no example. I have to go to IFRS 15, I have to buy that book which costs 7,000 rupees, or I have to depend upon outside sources, which how relevant they are, how not relevant they are, we do not know. But what ChatGPT has done is that it has solved the problem, because if I tell that please calculate significant financing component given these parameters, it gives it to you immediately. Not only do you understand the concept, you also get the formula. So for students, a few of my students are here from my office, and people who are listening online also, please stop those video lectures. Start listening to ChatGPT lectures. You can give the lecture yourself actually. Ask them a question, because this is extremely important from the examination point of view. So I tested this even on this concept called as EIR. So what I did here was that, and just to, I won't bore you with technical stuff, but EIR means effective interest rate under Ind AS. Effective interest rate means suppose the rate of interest is 9.5% and the NBFC or the bank is charging, let us say, processing charges of 1% or 2%. The processing charges gets built into your interest rate. That's why it's not effective interest rate. The processing charges are not recognized as income immediately. It gets built into your interest rate, which means that 9.5% will become 9.6% bill. So now I was thinking, how is ChatGPT becoming smarter than a chartered accountant in India? It's not possible, no. Obviously not possible. It should not give all the answers. So I said, I went and asked it a question. I said that coupon rate of interest is 9.5%. Processing charges is 1% of the loan sanction. Average loan size is 50 lakhs of rupees. Can you calculate effective interest rate? This is all I give it. I said coupon rate is 9.5%. Loan tenure average is 15 years. Average loan disbursement value is 50 lakhs of rupees. And your processing charges are 2% of the loan value. Can you calculate the interest, effective interest? No problem at all. fact, I'll step back a minute. I did not give the tenor of the loan. I did not give the tenor of the loan because I wanted to be smarter than Chat Gpt, right? Please understand that. I did not give tenor of the loan. I said 50 lakhs of rupees, 9.5 coupon rate of interest, process charges 2% of loan value. Calculate AIR. I thought Chat GPT will say that, please give me loan tenor. This is why it's slightly, I think somebody who has put that database is also an Indian chartered accountant. It said that assuming a loan tenor of 10 years is the year. And to add insult to injury, it says that if you want me to change the loan tenor, please tell me. Now this was getting obviously extremely frustrating because I thought I can test it with asking a question which it does not have a data input for. It assumed a data input. So you can never go wrong here unless you want to be wrong. Unless you want to be wrong, you can never go wrong here. So it calculated this without any problem at all. Again, this is for the employee loan. I just wanted to tell you about this particular aspect here. Please ask the question which I have asked. Interest free loan of 12 lakhs of rupees, 20,000 for 16 months, market rate is 8.5%. How will the company account for this loan at IFRS? Typical CA final question. Or it can be a typical question for you in your audit of doing India's financial statements. Interest free loans have been given. Again, you can see what it does is that it gives out a lot of these information and says under IFRS what is to be done there. And I think it is also given the values. Yeah, you can see it is also given the journal entry. What else do you want? I did not ask you for journal entry at all. I only said that calculate how will the company account for this loan under IFRS. Having asked this question, it has also given me journal entry. It says, please follow what I am telling you. You don't have an option here. It gives this loan and says that employee benefit expense, cash, loan payment, 12 lakhs of rupees. I think by this time,
Interpreted the word accountant.
it interpreted the word account and said, okay, this person does not know journal entry, he is only talking all sort of, I do journal entry also. But please pay attention to one thing which is there in that journal entry. It says copy the code. It says copy the code. This is a Python code which is freely available. You can tell your technical person in the office, copy this code. You can use this journal entry for all the employee loans. The values will be different, obviously, but you can use the code across all the employee loans which you have given, for all interest-free employee loans you have given. Again, this is the free version, not the paid version. So you can see the lot of benefits which have been given here, and it also says that I have also given one last question on IFRS. Just I don't want to take your. So I tried to change my English a little bit. I said that a company has wanted to deliver a machine in 2 years to a customer. Machinery costs 500,000 rupees. Company has received a full advance. Auditors mentioning something about significant financing component as per IFRS 15. Our usual discounting rate is 9%. What is this all about? I did not ask for journal entry. I did not ask for accounting. I only said that I have got an advance, delivery in 2 years' time. The auditors are saying something about significant financing component. I am not able to understand what this is. I just asked the question, what is this all about? It does not stay quiet. Here's how this will play out. It gives me a response saying that do a present valuation and over 2 years replace interest income approach to ensure that the significant financing component is appropriately accounted for in the company's financial statements. Please remember that in this response, please read this response, it did not use the word called auditors at all. You asked me a question, I gave you a response. But it does not use the word called auditors because again, it is irrelevant for this example. You told me what the facts of the matter are. I have interpreted those facts in such a manner that I give you a response. This is nothing but significant financing component. This is how you have to account it for under IFRS 15. I have just given you all only 4 or 5 examples. The list we can go about is endless. I have given this because I told you all that I know that there have been areas wherein there's been a little bit of either or as far as IFRS calculations are concerned or Ind AS calculations are concerned. I have purposely used IFRS and not Ind AS here because again it will say that I will update up to September 2021, it may not know Ind AS standards as well. So because I am assuming that Ind AS and IFRS are the same, I have used the language of IFRS. Please remember that the calculations remain pretty much the same. The calculations do not change. We do not have too much of variances, at least now between IFRS and the Ind AS standards. But you all can expand the scope of these conversations with Chat GPT to any extent you all want, as long as you know that this is your final requirement from this particular standard, from this particular Chat GPT. We want to mention Ind AS 115 revenue from contracts with customers as a key audit matter in the audit report. Can you draft the key audit matter? Please remember here that I asked a question on Ind AS 115. It has given the response. This is the key audit matter. And date ending, this standard sets out principles for recognizing revenue for customer contracts and plays a significant role in determining the company's financial performance and position. Matter is considered key due to its complexity, judgment required, and potential impact on the financial statements. Again, you don't have to draft any, as Bhatt sir said, don't worry about drafting the audit report. You know which audit report you have to use, that it will not tell you. SA 701, which report you should use, you have to see, that's all. But I would personally think that, as I will also show you in a couple of other instances, one area where we can definitely use ChatGPT is to draft representations, draft audit reports, draft emphasis of matter, draft whatever we want as far as the representations are concerned. And again, this is not to say that ChatGPT gives you the ideal answer. You may want to tweak it a little bit depending upon what you feel. Because I have always been thinking that, see, the reason why I mentioned this Ind AS 115 in particular was that you look at any company's audit report today, you look at the Infosys, look at Wipro, look at Mindtree, look at many of these other companies also, non-IT companies also. Auditors have mentioned key audit matter Ind AS 115. Now we understand that a key audit matter is not a qualification, it is not an emphasis of matter, it is not other matter, it is not going concern, negative comment on going concern also. It is just a key audit matter, which the auditor is saying that these are the key risks which have been identified in the audit and the manner in which it has, or the manner in which it has addressed those particular risks. So when this response came from ChatGPT, I thought, okay, let me see what has happened here. I said, I've got a lot of annual reports of a lot of companies. I thought, let me see if this fellow is doing some copy and paste. Let me see if this fellow is trying to take from Shell or British Petroleum or Infosys or Wipro or Mindtree or any of these companies. So I downloaded about 10 annual reports. Even in Shell, even in British Petroleum, 115 has been, IFRS 15 has been given as a key audit matter. But very surprisingly, I did not find any repetition at all. This again, somebody has taken the trouble of saying that if a question comes on IFRS 15, this is what exactly the response you have to give. It is not either from any of these annual reports. It is something which has been done purposely for the purpose of ChatGPT and ChatGPT alone. This gives us a thought process that the possibilities in ChatGPT are tremendous. The possibilities in ChatGPT are tremendous. But I thought, let me, again, a few of this is not come in the presentation, but I'll give that to you later on because my ChatGPT chat is stored, so I can always, look up on it and I can always give it back to you all because it's stored. I don't delete any of this thing here. This happened about quite a few years back. A report of a particular PSU undertaking. It had about 17 qualifications in the audit report. 17 qualifications. And at the end of that 17th qualification, the auditor said that, subject to the above, the accounts are true and fair. So, and I happen to know the auditor very, very well. So, I thought I should probably ask him. I did a very quick calculation and saw that the total profit shown by that particular PSU, had I taken the impact of all those qualifications, it would have become a loss. So it was very obvious, the amount of qualifications mentioned there, the quantum of those qualifications, quantification of those qualifications, all those things would have become a loss. I happened to bump into him in the airport in Bangalore and asked him, really, why did you do this? Why are you saying 18 qualifications are true and fair? Can't you just give disclaimer of opinion? I told him, see, this is what I have done. It's actually a profit. It's actually a loss. He said, Mohan sir, I know all that very well. Last year there were 24 qualifications. This time I reduced 5 qualifications. So maybe in 5 years' time it will probably be 0 qualification. But I did not stay quiet. I thought of this when this odd. See, Chat GPT is giving a response to every question I am answering. So I thought I will sort of tickle it a little bit more and say that audit report has got 18 qualifications. Should I continue the qualifications or should I give a disclaimer of opinion? I thought let me test it, and this is I thought my winning position. Because ChatGPT does not know what conversation I had with him about all those things. I just asked a very simple question saying that there are 18 qualifications in the audit report. Should I continue those qualifications or should I give a disclaimer of opinion? What do you think ChatGPT did? Better? ChatGPT said that under these circumstances, qualify the report. Under these circumstances, give a disclaimer of the report. Ultimately left to your judgment itself. He did not give me a response. Which is extremely appropriate if you ask him. You can't expect it because there is no background and all those things, right? But again, I was thinking that, again, look at the amount of effort which has gone into this. It does not answer a question. It answers a question, also gives you some relevant facts about these questions. So please, whenever you want to draft an audit report, I do not want to say this, but every one of us has got this habit. Audit report means Infosys audit report. Copy, paste, change the year, change the name of the company, change the unit number, we get our audit report. And we do a very good job of it. We don't repeat the Infosys mistake also. We do this. I mean, all of us have done it. But maybe it's probably time to shift over from Infosys to Chat GPT. Because you got much more variety here. You got much more scope here. Maybe it's probably time to look at and say, can you give an example of SA 701? With a disclaimer of opinion, with a qualified other matter opinion, whatever it may be. Maybe it's time to probably do this because I'm pretty sure that as we go along, Chat GPT is only going to improve as far as the technical stuff is concerned. See, previously what people were saying was that as far as machine learning and AI were concerned, they were saying that, I told you, 100 trillion parameters. The first uses of machine learning and AI were in the medical profession. If you give 100 images of a certain problem in the body, it is able to exactly pick out and say what exactly is the problem. It could be a cancerous tumor, it could be anything. A lot of hospitals today are using this technology for the purpose of trying to find out that whether exactly this is what the problem is. AI is giving them the answer. It is saying that I cannot be wrong because 100,000 people who had this problem, you cannot be different. Your problem should be the same. That is why they said that if AI or machine learning is able to, if you feed the amount of data into this thing, it is able to pick it up very, very smartly and tell you exactly what the problem is. There was also a very famous Netflix serial on this, which Anupam Kher also acted on, I forget this, I think it's called Amsterdam, wherein you can see that this is what has happened. I think it's called New Amsterdam, if I'm not wrong. You can see that even before the doctor who's Anupam Kher suggests what the problem is, AI gives a solution and says this is the problem. Initially it was thought of to be only for them, but later on, as I said, after Chat GPT has come in here, a lot of these things have happened, a lot of innovation has also happened there. Audit report. Client matra helpadi Chat GPT use madde fees kadime maadidare. Kadime maadtare sir.
ಅವರೇ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಅವರೇ report ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, correct. Sorry. Don't tell him you are using Chat GPT. Tell him that I have done this hard work, midnight oil I have burnt for this. But you can see it gives you exactly what you want. You really need to go. I mean, let's face the fact here. Who is going to go through every paragraph of the annual report? Nobody does it. I always ask this in forums. You have got the Infosys annual report in front of you. You got an investment in Infosys. Annual report both in the PDF format and both. How many pages do you see in that? 3 pages. Investor, what does he want? EPS, profit, that's all. He's not interested in another area, his photo and all those things. Why not required? Very surprising. Each person looks at the annual report in the way they want it. I've got a friend of mine, she's working in a software company in Bangalore, listed company, Oracle Financial Services. Every year she's got this extremely bad habit. I've told her not to do it, but she keeps on doing it. She would take the total cash and cash equivalents and divide by the average salary per month. I asked her, why are you doing it? She said, I want to know how many months the company will be able to pay salaries. I told her the only job is not to pay salary, what other expenditure also, but she doesn't buy it. She still wants to know how much, oh, this company is paying me 18 months salary, okay, 18 months I can decide. Probably, I can plan for it, whatever. So each person is from that point of view. It is giving you all the particulars you want, in the manner you want, and in a language, I can use this, I can tell this to you very confidently, in a language that is not inappropriate, in an appropriate language. So please use this freely for audit reports, please use it for all your representations. Bit of a negative is that it's updated only up to September 2021, but I feel that this is a plan, this is only a ploy. As we are speaking today, it's being updated, I know that very well. They don't want to give a solution to everything because they can't, then you'll start asking questions you cannot answer also. So they want this purposely to be done in a gradual manner. At some point of time, it is going to have an updated version, it is going to have a more recent version, it is going to have a better version also which is going to come in here. In that instance, what is going to happen is that you are able to get more value addition by using the same platform for whatever you want. Now we get into the other parts of Chat GPT. I said, hey, I heard there's a new 88C in GST rules. Any idea what this is about? It does not answer this question. See, GST means even Chat GPT is a little bit worried. It says my last training September 2021. I don't know all these things. Correct? Sir?
Out of syllabus.
Out of syllabus. Correct. But it is also saying that in September 21 they are not introduced innovative 88C. That much of information given. It's a recent one. It came about 4 days back, 1 week back. Correct? So you can see that here it is giving a disclaimer saying I don't know what this is all about. But it also says that if you have the text or a brief description of Rule 88C, I'd be happy to help interpret the implication based on information you provide. It is never accepting defeat. It is saying, you told me Rule 88C is there. Okay. I don't have it. You give it, I tell you what it is. So you can see, it's not going to say, I don't have an answer. It's trying to give some sort of a lead on conversation. It also wants to chat with you, as I said. It's not a question of you want to chat, it also wants to chat with you. It says, okay, please ask me for that question. Give me Rule 88C, let me see what it says. Okay, this is very interesting. We have a client to whom we provide accounting advice as a return of 20,000 rupees per month. The fees were fixed for 4 years back and not been increased. Can you draft an email to the client gently asking him to increase the fee to 30,000 rupees per month? Considering the increased scope of work, added risk and the impact of inflation. I wanted one note of caution saying that the email should not be very aggressive. Sir?
Very practical situation.
Very practical situation. Does it? It is given the response. We'd like to propose a monthly retention of 30,000 rupees. We believe this adjustment reflects the enhanced value and broader scope of services we now offer, as well as the economic rate. See, yaar mein artha agala kanispudi. Ningu artha agala paravailla kanispudi agala. The only thing I fear is that at some point of time you will get a watermark saying generated by Chat GPT. I hope that does not come. Because if that comes, we are going to have a problem. But you can see what it is there. It is done beautifully, no problem at all. But please don't forget that the client also has got access to Chat GPT.
How do you play this?
He will say, my CA is asking for increase. Please drop the response. So we are now in a situation where we are fighting on the Chat GPT platform. It's perfectly possible. But one thing is sure. If the client ever responds, you all will be able to make out that he has used Chat GPT because you are using it. That is definite. That's very, very clear. Okay, a few more things. Again, I thought, let me move away from Indians, let me move away from all this stuff. Our most popular sections, 234A, B and C, Income Tax Act. I said tax payable 18.5 lakhs. He paid advance tax of rupees 0, 2,50,000 rupees, 5 lakhs and 7 lakhs in June, September, December, March. Can you calculate the interest payable on 234A, B and C of the Income Tax Act? I did not say which year. I did not say anything. I just said June, September, December and March. Can you calculate 234 A, B and C? What do you think ChatGPT did? Better?
It will assume the latest period and then.
Now it's a conflict between ChatGPT and Winman. ChatGPT versus Winman. Says that it is, I mean, I'm giving you the summary version here. But it has got calculations. It has given full history of calculations. For brevity, I have not given those calculations here. It says 234A is 0, 234B is 1,60,000 rupees, 234C is 44,925. Total interest payable is this. This is what it says. If at all you have got lot of time, lot of articles in your office, please ask them to compare ChatGPT with Winman and say who is better or who is worse. Or who is winning this battle of 234A, B and C. Winman does not give you the calculations. Please remember, ChatGPT, all the calculations are there in front of you. You can actually see the calculations. It gives you the code, it gives you the calculation. That transparency, I mean, I'm not saying Winman is wrong, but definitely, no, we know this. I mean, all of you are, most of you are practicing and all this big stuff. I hear this from my partners in the office and other colleagues also. After this AIS has come, clients have said, really, that much of money is in my bank account. It is their bank account. AIS has sort of given a lot of ammunition for us to ask them, do you know that they have this bank account? Do you know they have income in the bank account? They will feign all ignorance initially. And then they'll say, yeah, there was one transaction about 1 crore profit I made, that's all. The transparency which is coming out in AIS is now there in Chat GPT. We're able to get all these things from them only. We're able to get this calculation there. I'm doing this at a very broad level. You would want to look into specific areas here and try and see what is useful for your particular thing. Okay, now we'll have a little bit of deviation from the Chat GPT. I mean, it's still Chat GPT itself, but still. Many people said writing a poem, writing an essay, asking it for names. I explored every possible facet of Chat GPT. I said, okay, let me do one thing. I'll ask it a completely different question. We are 3 chartered accountants who want to set up practice in Bangalore. I want a name for our website. Can you suggest names? This is the question I asked. And I put the names as Mohan, Keshav and Bharat. Can you suggest nice names for a website? It gives me a lot of masala. It says, of course, while suggesting names for a website, beneficial to keep them short, memorable, and relevant to the business you offer. mkbtrio.com. Not working. mohankeshavbharat.com. 3unity.com. That looks like some US thing, right? ngvpartners.com. Again, initials. trioventures.com. I was not happy. This is not working out. But I knew that what is happening here is that I did not say that we are in India. It's always using a .com. Had I said I am in India, probably said .in, it may have said. But again, I am not very happy with these names because I am sure that we can find better names if we discuss among the partners ourselves. So now I knew, oh, this is one area where ChatGPT is lacking. It is not giving me proper names for my website. Let me attack it. I'll attack it. I said, can you give better names? It comes up with mokeshbar.com. ICA is not going to be very happy with this. Imagine, and you see where this Mokesh comes from, Mohan, Keshav and Bharat it seems. First names. It's taken the first 2 letters and said mokeshbar.com. I seriously want to apply to the ICA for this and say that this is given by ChatGPT, can you approve this name? I don't think they're going to approve this very, very well. But here I think is something wherein probably the amount of information I gave, I'm still supporting ChatGPT for this. Probably the input I gave was probably not sufficient. This is what I'm feeling. I'm sure that it has got better names coming out there. But this is a far stretch from what we actually want from ChatGPT. Because we do not know those names have been taken. We don't know anything about these stuff. We have to go to probably some GoDaddy or domain.com to find out if the domain has been taken or not. But I thought that the way I want to put this is that let me explore this facet also and see if it really comes out with norms here. What I have not put here is the fact that ICA has got some guidelines on their website that I haven't put here. I have not said I am from India. It looks as though I am some entertainment company here. From the responses given by ChatGPT, it looks as it doesn't know that we are a partnership firm of accounting firm. So my question to that extent is probably a little bit inadequate, I will say. If I say we are an accounting firm in India with 3 partners, these are our full names. Can you suggest better names for our website? Maybe, I'm just saying, maybe it would have probably given better options there for the purpose of this thing.
Or plug into ICA website, something like that.
Plug into the ICA website. I don't know the ICA permit to plug into ChatGPT right now, but yeah, possibly you can do that. Yeah, you can look at the possible names and give that. Yeah, that's possible. Okay. I also have done something else on ChatGPT. This is something which we do for companies very commonly. What is called as analytical review. Analytical review means what? Take the current year's figures, take the previous year's figures, do the difference, variance, about 20% of any variance, please explain what the variance is. I thought I'll ask ChatGPT by attaching an Excel file. I attached Excel file and said that I've got current year's figures, I've got previous year's figures. Can you prepare a variance analysis sheet in Excel? Again, please look at the response of Chat GPT. It says, certainly. Let me first take, see, this fellow is very, very confident. Starting itself very positive note. Certainly. Let me look at the, contents of the uploaded file to understand the data and determine what it is. Then you can see here that it says finished working. Again, transparency, full transparency. Show the working. It also shows the working, what it has been doing there. And it is trying to give me some guidance, saying that data seems to be structured with headers and subheaders. I skip the initial rows and fetch the main data table. It is deciding on its own what it has to do. It's not even asking me a question. You wanted this, I'm giving you this. I'm assuming, making my own assumptions for this. But it has given this result. I just attached this Excel file called AR, Analytical Review, and I just asked this question. It has done the work, giving me this result here. Now it is up to us to choose and ask the company to give an explanation for the variance about 20%, 30%, what are your threshold, what are your benchmarks. Many people have said that, of course, Excel is an excellent tool for us in our regular day-to-day, work. You can do a lot of things in Excel, advanced Excel, BI, so many things are there. I think Chat GPT can also be useful to the limited extent that in case any of our regular mundane tasks have to be performed, like variance analysis, calculating a formula, all these things, we can definitely take the help of Chat GPT for the purpose of doing this. It's only a question of knowing exactly what you want, number one. Second, and probably more important, is please ask it the right questions. I cannot underemphasize the importance of asking the right questions to Chat GPT, especially if it's on a technical point. If you say, write me a Kannada poem about Shivaram, but it will not give a Kannada poem because it is not trained in Kannada. But if you say, please give me a poem about Shivaram, but past chairman of Bangalore, it will give a poem. Whatever it is, it will give it, definitely. It depends upon how you are asking that question. Especially on a matter of technical interpretation, please be as specific as possible and as detailed as possible. As far as your analysis are concerned, I put a PDF document. See, I tried to, sometimes over ambition also is there, no. I told you the ultimate idea is what? The ultimate idea is to defeat ChatGPT. Ultimate idea is to ask him a question, he will not be able to answer. So I said, okay, fine, let me do this. I put an annual report of a company, PDF document, 400 pages. I forget the name of the company, but anyway, I put this annual report and said that, can you summarize the annual report to me in 10 sentences? I thought, this is my victory question. 400 pages document, 10 sentences. How is ChatGPT going to respond? So I said, summarize this in 10 sentences and give it to me. Please remember, this fellow is, person who has done it is definitely Indian Chartered Accountant. It gives me a response saying that, I see that you have an annual report of this company. It is divided into different sections. Which section you want summary for?
Presuming for every section it would go for 10 seconds.
10 seconds. It asked me back a question saying that, which section do you want a summary for?
Positive.
Positive. I said, oh my God, okay. I didn't expect this one as an answer. So I said, okay, fine. Financials. I immediately replied, give me a summary of the financials in 10 sentences. It gave it. Without any problem, it gave it. It went to the financial section and did whatever it has to do. But see, my intention was with a vested interest. I'll be honest, I wanted to defeat it. It never got defeated. It says it always asks you back a question. It always asks you back a question. Apart from this data requirement of September 2021, it has never failed to not answer a question at all, at any point of time. It's always thrown back a reverse question and said, okay, give me this information, I tell you what it is. it does not take no for an answer. It expects you also not to take no for an answer because it expects you to keep on giving it more and more information. And I believe, I spoke to somebody whom I know in this, they said that this is done on purpose because every single question you every single question you ask and every single answer given by Chat GPT is only going to improve its performance in the future. They are saying it's done on purpose. It is not that it does not want to answer questions positive, negative and all those things. Every single question being asked is going to the SpyVector database and people are reading it as we are speaking today. It is going to be, probably aggregated or somewhere in some particular form. It is going to machine learning.
Machine learning will be.
Machine learning will regenerate this. So the next time you ask a question, it will probably give you a better answer. So I said this is being done on purpose. It's not that it does not want to answer a question. It's being done on purpose is what they're trying to say. Okay. I will probably say this. One area wherein again I felt that Chat GPT has definitely going to help a lot. But we need to spend some time here because as I told you, GST is going to be one area wherein there is going to be a lot of litigation which is going to help and you will require a lot of help from Chat GPT also. I've always mentioned this. I know 70% of GST law. The officer knows 50% of GST law. Who is stronger? I know 70%. Mathematically, I am supposed to be stronger. But he has got this thing called as assessment. I have nothing. I don't have any assessment. We recently went to quite some time back, went for an appeal. Our appeal was very, very simple. We said we are prepared to pay the interest, we have made a mistake. First day of GST, first early years of GST, when we put wrong values and all those things. Reversed it subsequently, whatever it may be. I said we are prepared to pay interest. The client said I am prepared to pay interest. Please waive the penalty. Penalty was some 40,000 rupees. Humble request, no Chat GPT at that point of time. I said humble request, madam, please waive the penalty. We pay the interest today itself. Response given was, this is my first appeal case on the GST, I don't want to lose it. It is my first appeal also. But didn't seem to be working out. No, I don't want to lose it. What response can you give for that sort of a response? Nothing you can really do. But here what I did was that I tried to ask Chat GPT for case laws. It went back to that September 2021 disclaimer story and said that no, September 2020, I'm sorry, I am very old data that way, I don't know about all these things. So what I did was, I gave it a specific question and said that we have got this notice from the GST department. This is about liquidated damages, service tax and liquidated damages, which has been held to be not chargeable. I have given it all the various case laws there. Can you draft an appeal asking the officer to drop the demands? This is what I have asked it. And as I told you earlier also, GST APL 5, which is going to be an appeal format for the appeals tribunal. Background of the case, grounds of appeal, prayer. Only 3 things you have to fill up. That's the most important aspect of this. It gave a response. The respected sir, madam, we are ready to formally appeal the demand raised by your esteemed office for the payment of GST liquidated damages amounting to 3.5 crores. This is not in line with the prevailing legal interpretation concerning GST applicable to liquidated damages. They have relied on the following case laws. It gives those case laws also. Basically, this is what I have given it. The case laws I have given it here. And the best part of Chat GPT is in the conclusion. The best part is in the conclusion. You can see here that we respectively submit that in the light of these judgments, demand raised by the office is not sustainable. We therefore humbly request your good self to kindly note the drop. Kindly drop the same. Look at the last sentence here. We are committed to adhering to all the legal regulatory requirements and are always open to assisting your office in whatever manner possible. That is not mentioned here. With any further information or clarification that may be needed in this regard. Thank you for your kind consideration. We look forward to favorable resolution of this matter. Please try this with your next GST appeal. Wherever it is, maybe assessing outside, maybe ACIT, maybe JCIT, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
PPT ಸಿಗುತ್ತಾ ಮೇಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ?
ಯಾವುದು ನಮ್ಮ PPT ನಾ? ಹಾಂ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಚ್ಚರಿ. ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ? Beautiful. Focus is not on case laws. Focus is on humbly, respectively submit and all those things. Like an Indian CA only. The languages?
Show that's an Indian.
Yeah, it's done by an Indian CA. Obviously, somebody sitting in Chat Gpt office has done this. Somebody who faced a very bad assessment probably. And said, this is what it is. This is what we have to do. See, please remember that irrespective of what the tone of your response is going to be, what I particularly found interesting in Chat GPT is the concluding paragraphs. To a certain extent, they are not worried about southern eastern goldfields and all those things. They say it doesn't matter, southern eastern, north eastern, southern, doesn't matter what it is. It starts off very well. Respected sir, madam, we are writing to formally, starts off in a very, very kind, cordial note. Puts the masala which I have given it. Right? Ends on an even more cordial note. And says, respectfully, help me, fall at your feet, do this, do that, everything.
What is it regenerate, sir?
You can do the response again if you want. But you can ask it again to regenerate. If you want to copy and paste it, you missed it out, you want to copy and paste it or whatever, or delete it also, you can regenerate it. In my opinion, this is one area wherein all of us can certainly benefit. But I was just wondering of the situation wherein, suppose all of you in this room have got a GST appeal. All of you have seen the PowerPoint presentation.
Same.
And all of you give the same response. Sir?
To the same officer.
To the same officer also, correct. To the same officer also.
Good for him, he will use the Chat GPT.
He will use ChatGPT. You never know this may happen because see, this is one thing about this GST department today is that
They are full of engineers.
they are full of engineers. They have got one building in Delhi, in this Aero City. That building is a 3-story building filled with all GST. What they are doing there in that building, nobody knows. But they are only analyzing data. They have got so much of data, they don't know what to do with the data now. That is why getting about all your 3B versus 2B differences and notices and all those things.
Chat GPT use ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ
ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ChatGPT ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Probably it will help. Housing finance company has got a notice for e-way bills. You can imagine how it is. Notice for please produce e-way bills. So we responded saying that we are a housing finance company, we only give interest on loans, we cannot produce e-way bills for interest. Till today that concept has not come about at all. But can I add on to this and say that can you give me case law? I think that is one area wherein we are probably going to see a lot of developments within ChatGPT itself, wherein they may not have the entire case law today. See, let's face it, whether you go to tax, whether you go to tax publishers, whether you go to any of these websites to give these case laws, the case laws are sporadic. You will never find one case law in all the websites. They have got their own method of analyzing these case laws. You may find it that sometimes only in tax men, sometimes only in tax publishers. We do not know why this is not coming updated or all on the same topic, why they are not giving the same case law. But assuming that you are able to get this case law and you tell ChatGPT that this is the case law, this is the grounds of appeal, this is my prayer, I can assure all of you all that it will give your GST APL file or whatever APL form you want to file without any problem. You need not even look at it. You need not, that much is there. You don't have to worry about ChatGPT for English. You don't have to worry about it for corrections of language, grammar and all those things. Whether GST office understands is a different issue altogether. But from your limited perspective, you will be able to craft a superb appeal and giving it all the necessary facts of the case. We all know this for a fact. That's why I mean, at the cost of repetition, I'm talking about only GST, the appeals only, because even in service tax, you can use this for income tax also. I told you 234 ABC, all those interest, all those case laws, you can use it for that also. It has been proven that justice to the taxpayer is received only at the tribunal level. At the assessing officer level, AR level, normally it goes in favor of the department only. It's invariably in favor of the department. In fact, I think if I'm not wrong, in service tax, about 70%. 70% of the cases were in favor of the assessee at the tribunal level. There will be a lot of appeals, there's no doubt about it. My suggestion to all of you would be that please make use of this technology for the purpose of, see what will happen. Sharma said first appeal he will say, okay, Mohan has given this, he'll do it. Second appeal he'll feel bored. He'll say, why should we do the same thing? I'll ask Chat GPT, but I will change my response. As he said, suppose same officer, same prayer. Sometimes it happens, you never know. We may have the same officer who is dealing with the case and he knows that how come same responses are there. They may have, GST departments are going to be very fast to pick up all these things. So what I would feel is that maybe in some time we will get a little bit more sophisticated version of Chat GPT, wherein we have got case laws which are relevant to the question we are asking.
Actually, this is good for the department because department is coming with a combined appeal resolutions. At a time 20 appeals are disposed of.
Correct.
This representation, since it's identical, they are able to pass the single order.
Single order for all the 20 appeals.
Yeah.
Correct. Useful for them, definitely, no doubt. Yes, sir.
So would this response be different for the free version and the paid version? Because the paid version
No. No. Paid version, it will not be different unless you want to add some plugin. I don't think you need to require a paid version for the responses.
Have you tried the same question on both versions?
Yeah. I've tried both. Same answer. See,
In
plugin.
respect, I was informed by my daughter's friends that when they do a project basing on this GST, the college has a separate software to crack such cases. The GST people may use that too,
Yeah. Correct.
Possible.
It's possible.
To crack the software, there is other software which can deal it also.
Yeah. It's possible. See, whatever they have tried to tell today, there's always one person who is always superior to that. Correct? There's always one person who is superior to that. So, it's not that this thing here, but again, just to answer this question about this paid versus the free version, just think of a situation wherein the entire taxman database is in a plugin of Chat GPT. Right? Just think of a situation wherein all the cases under GST and the taxman are a separate plugin there. You go for the paid version. You say section 17 bracket 5 of the GST Act or 180 of the Income Tax Act or whatever it may be. Please give me case laws. It will give it to you appropriate to what you want. In fact, I'll go one step further. Against the assessee, against the department, that also it will tell you. Because taxman uses this thing, ruled against in favor of department against the assessee. Chat GPT is an expert at reading stuff like this. So we were waiting for that plugin to happen. It's only going to be a question of time. It's only going to be a question of time before this comes. It may help us because today we are seeing a very unique situation especially in, and I don't know, I was speaking to a lawyer who told me this thing. He said that it was a 35 crore demand on a GST. There was a Supreme Court decision which was in favor of this particular assessee. And the assessee also said, no, I'll go by a Jharkhand High Court decision. I will not go by Supreme Court decision. You go to Supreme Court yourself. At a High Court level or tribunal level, they are not going to take. They are saying, I'll go for a Jharkhand High Court decision or whatever it is. So, this sort of a dichotomy is there. I think that the more we look at ChatGPT and more data we give it, more plugins we give it, it is definitely going to be helpful for us. What it can do is, as I said, today for example, you look at, again, input tax credit or whatever you call it, income tax disallowance, whatever it will be. 37 bracket 143B, all these disallowances there. 88 disallowance under Income Tax Act. There's a lot of litigation even today on that. The resolution is coming at a tribunal level or at a high court level. It's not coming at an all India level. But if we are able to get this database into one particular segment and say, okay, this is what it is, which I think is what Chat GPT will be extremely useful for, because we have one single source of truth here. You can try this today. You can go to tax fund and ask for this case now, it will give you a case. It may not be there in tax publishers, it may not be there in the ITR, it may not be there. There's a very sporadic nature of these reports, makes it very difficult for us to, and we rely on one case now. For us, it is only reliance on one case now which is for us. Officer may have something which is against us also. We do not know about how this will work. So I think that is where this plugins or Chat GPT will be very, very useful. Going forward, I think we can do this this thing. There's a negative option I told you about. It also gave me a call option price negative option. Also gives me some advice. It says negative option value doesn't make sense. It says you are a chartered accountant practicing in Bangalore, what is the giving negative values about? Almost like abusing me. Saying your inputs are wrong here, right? Gives you, but please again remember that entire formula, entire option pricing model, entire formula is available here. So finally I asked ChatGPT this question. Can you summarize 10 important case laws of the Supreme Court of India on income tax from 1960 to 2021? Please remember, what was my objective? To defeat ChatGPT. I have been unsuccessful till now. But first response it gave was Kanga and Palikavara's law of income tax as a case law itself. I wanted to shout it and say, what are you doing? Give me a book or what? But again, immediately I saw what it is given there. It says that this isn't a Supreme Court judgment per se, but it's a very influential commentary on income tax. They are also defeated. Not allowing me to ask a question also. It says this is not a Supreme Court decision, but it's a commentary on the. It is written by two of the foremost experts in this field, and then it gives me the case law critical and all these other case law units. All of you all are expecting one case law to be there. It is there. Right? Point number 5, Vodafone. See, somewhere it is picking this up. It is somewhere this is picking it up. Of course, this was 2012. This was a single bench. Later went to the larger bench. It was ruled against the taxpayer. But again, we have to go back and ask the elementary question: where is ChatGPT getting all this information from? Somebody has fed this database and said that these are the 10 top income tax cases in India. These are the most important cases in India as far as income tax is concerned. They may not have specifically said 10 top cases. They have said landmark decisions under income tax. And ChatGPT has picked that up and said these are the topmost cases. Again, it gives a summary of this particular case also, what has happened in this particular case. Now it's given a summary also and given this particular thing. Okay. Last but not the least, all of you are aware, audit quality maturity model is mandatory now. 100 marks, some not 100 marks, many marks are there. In that, 4 marks I am going to give you today. 4 marks therefore developing a vision statement for the firm. So I asked ChatGPT, can you give a vision statement for our firm? All of you who got websites can update it today itself. You get 4 marks under the AQM model. Can you suggest a good vision statement for an accounting firm in India? Maximum of 2 sentences I said. We aspire to be India's foremost accounting firm, setting unparalleled standards in financial integrity and transparency. Through innovation and expertise, we aim to empower businesses, foster economic growth, and enhance the financial well-being of our communities. Where community came for a CA firm, I do not know. But beautiful. Please put it on our website immediately. 4 marks. AQM model automatically granted. Only problem is if we are represented by about 40 firms today in this audience. 40 firms, all 40 firms only foremost accounting firm in Bangalore or in India. So to that extent, we have got limitations also in Chat GPT where we cannot, have this particular thing. Anything better, I asked. Says, of course. Charting the future of finance in India, we strive to be the beacon of trust and expertise in accounting realm. Who can dispute this? Tell me. Our vision is to blend tradition with innovation, ensuring every business thrives in a transparent and sustainable financial environment. I do not know if IC would accept this amount. I don't think they have an option because, but please look at this, how they have crafted this, in what manner they have crafted this. It has got a response for everything. Best accounting firm in India, community. It has picked up from somewhere and given all these things. Obviously there is some,
But what is the response time?
instant.
Instant.
It will just blink thrice if it is a 3.5 version. 4 version it will see if you have got a plugin required.
Okay.
The paid version it will see if there is a plugin required, it will wait for the plugin to come. But 3.5 is instant. I have not asked the question, can you give me this in Telugu? I don't ask the question because we don't have local versions of ChatGPT. Okay, now that we have discussed this much, final questions to ask, is ChatGPT a threat? I think the answer is clearly no. I think we have seen this in the last 1.5 hours that certainly it's not a threat. But can it be a tool? I think the answer to the question is probably yes. It depends on how we want it to be used as a tool. But there is also one more thing which we can do. We can also use it as a time pass. How you want ChatGPT to be is depending on what you want it to be, that's all. If you want it to ask very general questions as time pass, so be it. Instead of scrolling Instagram, do ChatGPT, that's all. If you want to use it as a tool, so be it, you can use it. What will happen in the future, before I end, is that, as I told earlier also, this is a technology or this is a area wherein from November 2022, we're not even into 1 year, a lot has happened. A lot has happened. People are talking about this on a extremely day-to-day basis, wondering, we've got YouTube videos doing this, we've done so many things happening in this sphere. It is not going to go away definitely. One thing is certain, ChatGPT will not go away, particularly because Elon Musk is involved in it. What will happen now is that the database, the inputs we are having in ChatGPT are going to be so scarce.
Small question, I think Google people are trying to make something.
They have got something called as BARD here.
It is in beta stage.
It's in beta stage. Actually, the plugins in ChatGPT also are in beta stage. They are not commercial versions. You may have to purchase a plugin later on. Taxman database, you may have to purchase it later on. Right now it's in beta version. Google has got something called as BARD. They are trying to bring that out also. That's also on the beta version only right now. So there is going to be a lot of interest in this. But as we have seen, we have got something which is at an extremely mega level. It's got extremely mega level. And you can probably see that many of the responses which are given today are probably very sort of generalistic responses. Certainly what is going to happen is that we are going to see localized versions of ChatGPT. We will have localized version of ChatGPT in which we can have one taxman, we can have one income tax department, one GST department, one Ind AS set of people giving only information related to Ind AS or IFRS or whatever it will be as a plugin. You don't have to go anywhere else, only for that plugin you have to purchase and you will have to probably use it for the specific purpose you want. So we are definitely going to see this happening in the very near future because everybody have now realized that there is something here which we can use. Today we are using it at a very mega level of poems and all those things. But definitely we can use it at a much more granular level and then that is what is going to happen in the future for this thing. ChatGPT on ChatGPT finally. I asked them, what are you going to do in the future? I said, what is going to happen in the future? They said, future at least will likely be more context aware, capable of understanding, retaining complex conversation threads, integration capabilities around chat, all what I told you basically. Ethical standards, As with any tool, true value of ChatGPT will be realized in how it's used. Chartered accountants have to remain agile, continuously learning and leveraging this evolving technology to its fullest potential. From what I think you all can make out from what I've been discussing here is that it will never accept a defeat. It will give you a response. Whatever question you want, it will give you a response. It is using a strategy, asking you a cross question again. So what is going to happen now is that the quality of your questions and the quality of the response it gives, as I said, is probably going to help us to ensure that we use this Chat GPT for a much better value addition in the future. I think that is what I wanted to tell you, but yeah. So anyway, how we can use this? Generate draft appeals, generate newsletters, use in more effectively good presentations, improve their content. You can use it in any manner you want, improve your content. Representations, newsletters. Nowadays, everybody is going on LinkedIn giving newsletters. You want to give updates on GST, you want to give updates on income tax, you want to give updates on any other accounting standards. Use ChatGPT. Ask it to make a presentation, ask it to draft a, email. It does a lot of stuff actually, it does a lot of stuff. It only depends upon how you want to use it. So the final question which I have not asked ChatGPT, because by this time I think I got tired of it. I know it will ask me a cross question back again. The question I wanted to ask it was, can one get addicted to ChatGPT?
Yes, standard answer.
Sir?
Standard answer, yes.
I have not asked this question. And I am sure that the response will be that, yes, you can. It depends upon how you are going to, because see, many a time what we do today, Instagram Reels for example. Why do we see Instagram Reels? Only because of entertainment value. See, 50% of Jagan movie I've already seen on Instagram Reels. I may not have to go to the theatre at all. In the case of Chat GPT, if I have this presentation today. In fact, what I have not put here for all of you is that when Manjunath called me and told me about this presentation, the first question I asked ChatGPT was, hey, you know what? I am giving a presentation to Bangalore branch of India on ChatGPT. What should I use? What should I say? That's the first question I asked it. It says, that's a lovely opportunity. Here's what you should say, told me. I said, no, that I say, not you. You don't tell me what has to be said there. Even for that, it gave me a response. This is what you have to, this is the context you have to set in. So it is possible that we may get information from it. See, whether it is a replacement for Google or not. Again, it depends on how you want to use it, that's all. Yes, you get information on ChatGPT, which is there in Google. I'm not saying no. Whether Google is updated, that is a debate which will probably never have a definitive answer at all. But my suggestion to all of you all would be that, and the takeaway you should probably take in this session is that, if you want anything specific from ChatGPT, use it for that purpose only. You've got other forms of entertainment like Instagram, TikTok and all those things. This is not for entertainment. If you have a specific thing, if you want to be able to say, for example, draft emails better, if you want to give a newsletter to your clients, if you want to give updates to your clients on various sections of the Income Tax Act, use it for those purposes because the free version allows you to do it. And once you have a set of mega plugins, what you can do from ChatGPT will only get better. That's what I want to conclude with. So, anyway, so thank you for a very patient hearing. Manjunath, over to you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's always we professionals must be advising our clientele more about what not to do, so that you or your client might not get into trouble either legally or financially, which is what CA Mohan R Lavi sir discussed upon today. What a fantastic 2 hours discussion on this Saturday morning, technology and artificial intelligence, which we must use to enhance our skill sets. On behalf of Chairperson CA Divya and all the managing committee members of Bangalore branch, I would like to thank all the members who have attended this program. Keep supporting Bangalore branch. On behalf of members present here, I, CA Mohan R Secretary, would like to thank CA Mohan R Lavi sir for excellent deliberation on a round of applause, please. Can I request CA Shivram Bhatt sir, past chairman of Bangalore branch, to hand over a memento to Mohan R Lavi sir as a token of respect and gratitude. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And the PPT be shared with all the